Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go over multiplying and dividing rational expressions, and just like on Monday, it requires a lot of factoring. So, let's look at our first problem. Let's just look at numbers and remember how to do multiplication and division. So let's just start with some numbers. So when I look at 3 over 4 times 7 over 6, if you remember from back in the day, you can cross cancel. So I'm going to take and I'm going to cancel. This 3 will cross cancel with this 6, leaves me a 2 here and a 1 there. I can't cross cancel 4 and the 7, and I can't do the 2 to the 7. So at this point, I'm going to take 1 times 7 is 7, and 4 times 2 is 8, and that is my answer. So when I do the one here on the right, I have 6 over 5a times 25 over a. Well, I can put the 25a over 1. And I look to see, does the 5, can I cancel or reduce this fraction up and down, straight up and down? No. But the 5 and the 25 I can. So the 5 goes into 25, leaves me 5 here and a 1 here. The a right here, and that a that's diagonal from it, will also cancel. So my answer is going to be 6 times 5 for 30, and 1 times 1 is 1, but we normally don't write our answer that way, we just write our answer as 30. Down here on the far left, bottom left, we need to remember that with division we have to change it. So this becomes 2 over 3, so we keep that guy the same, he stays the same. We must change our operation to multiplication, and we must flip the second fraction. So we're going to write down the 2/3, it stays the same. We're going to change division to multiplication, and we're going to flip that second fraction. So now, when I look at this, I say 2 will cancel with the 4, leaves me a 2 here and a 1. 3 and 27 cancel, gives me a 9. When I multiply straight across, I get 9 over 2 for my final answer. Now let's make things complicated. Let's start there's no factoring involved in this set of problems. So we're just going to see what can we cancel, because everything's being multiplied together. On that top left, it's 4 times an x cubed times a y, divided by a 3 times an x times a y to the 4th. We just don't put those multiplication symbols in. So I look first at the coefficients. So I'm going to look at this 4, and I say, well, 4 has a 2 in it, so that's 2. And 10 is 2 and 5, leaves me a 5 there. I have an x cubed here and an x to the 4th, so this makes this go to an x to the 1st. There's no y's on the diagonal, so I can't do anything there. This is multiplication, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I see the times sign went away. This 3 will cancel with that negative 6 and leave me a negative 2 in the top. This x here will cancel with that x squared and leave me an x to the 1st. The x squared on the top right will cancel with the x to the 4th on the bottom, leaving me 2 down there. Then, if you notice, I'm going to change colors, because we can cancel up and down as well. So this y here is a y to the 1st. He's going to cancel out with one of those y's. Leaves me a y1 down there. And this x to the 1st right here, and I have an x to the 1st down here, that completely cancels out. So when I go and look at all this scribbling, I'm left with a negative 4, no x's on top, no y's on top, over 1 times 5 is 5. I have no x's, and I have a y to the 1st, so that would be my answer. Let's do that again. Except this time we're going to have to keep this first fraction the same. Change the division to multiplication, and flip that second fraction. Excuse me for sneezing. All right, now let's go and do our canceling. So I have 5 goes into 25, leaves me a 5 up here. X squared, and this x to the 4th becomes an x squared. This y and this y cubed leaves me a y squared. Let's see, what can I do going this direction? Well, let's see. I can take 5 into 60, and that will leave me 1, carry the 1, that will leave me 12. What else can I do? Now this 12 and this 16 both are divisible by 4, so that's a 3 here and a 4 there. X cubed and x squared, so this guy leaves me an x. This y squared and that y, that leaves me a y in the bottom. Let's see, nothing can go up and down in the first fraction, nothing in the second, so we can go ahead and multiply straight across. So I have the 1 times the 4 is 4 on top, no variables. I have a 3 here and a 1, so I have a 3. I have an x and an x squared, which gives me an x cubed. I have a y and a y squared, which gives me a y cubed. So final answer is 4 over 3x cubed, y cubed. All right, let's see what's going on page 4. All right, page 4. Now we're going to start factoring. So I look at the upper left, and I see that I can factor out a 4, because the first question we ask ourselves is, can I undistribute something? So I'm going to undistribute my 4x, leaving me an x minus 1. On the bottom, there's nothing to undistribute or factor out, so I am going to break up my x's, factors of 3, that when I subtract give me 2 would be 3 and 1. 3 needs to be positive because of the plus sign up there, and the 1's the minus. Put a times sign. There's nothing to undistribute or factor out of the top, so I'm going to break up my x's. Once again, factors of 6, that when I subtract gives me 1, so that's 3 and 2. The bigger number must be the positive, and I have a 4x down here. All right, everything is now in factored form, so I have multiplication happening, so I can start canceling. So these 4x's cancel. This x minus 1 will cancel. This x plus 3 will cancel. So my final answer is x minus 2. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a satisfying problem. Let's do one more. All right, this is division. So remember, we're going to keep the first parenthesis the same, the first fraction the same. We're going to change the symbol and do the second one. We're going to flip it. So x squared plus 9 does not factor. The 5x plus 10, I see that a 5 will divide out of each of those terms evenly. Change my symbol. As I flip, I'm going to factor. So this is 5 times x squared minus 4 over x plus 3. Now, I can still factor this piece right here. He's still factorable. So we're going to rewrite it once again, or some of you might write it above it. So we're going to have x squared plus 9 over 5 times x plus 2 times 5 times x minus 2, x plus 2 over x plus 3. Now we're going to check to see if we can cancel anything, and we notice that we can cancel the x plus 2's. We can cancel a 5, and we leave ourselves, unfortunately this is not a satisfying problem, it's just kind of ugly. We end up with x squared plus 9 times x minus 2 all over x plus 3. Some of your homework tonight, that's what you get. You get to cancel one or two things and you get a really ugly answer. Some of them will look nicer. So please see your guest teacher right now for your assignment. And if you're on the band trip, you picked that assignment up for me already on Monday. So these are the notes that goes with that assignment. All right. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Have a really good evening. Come in with questions tomorrow. You will be getting a book assignment tomorrow, so you'll be doing 2 days on this, 1 day on the worksheet. Tomorrow, as I said, is a book assignment. Don't forget that there are problems written on the board if you're going to retake the last test that you must complete and turn into me 2 days prior to taking that exam. All right, have a good one. Bye, guys.